All right, because I want to. Speaking of sad, I wanted to talk about
Yeah.
JDF.
And
The,
we mentioned the Conroy, right? That was the previous podcast.
no,
No, we
no,
didn't. We
we
didn't
didn't
have a
miss.
previous podcast.
Oh shit! So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's been big. It's been big L's for '90s kids lately.
It has, yeah.
It has, yes.
The Green Ranger, Tommy Oliver, aka Jason David Frank, died by suicide at 49. Unfortunately, just a few days ago. At
Yeah.
first, I remember seeing stuff about it, but I thought it was all just like rumors again. I thought it was fake because a lot of times on Twitter, like people die all the time, and it just turns out to be kind of like a whole myth. Um, but yeah, August, and I figured like it'd be a good moment to kind of, go over like some of our like earliest memories of like Power Rangers or like growing up with the show or something like that, or something you guys want to talk about. I don't know what you how you felt when you heard that he died, or uh August, you want to go first?
Sure, to keep me awake. Yeah, why
Yeah,
not?
absolutely. Yeah. Hold it down.
Uh, yeah. So, I mean, legit, I just remember that again. It was the first season, not the first season. Mighty Morphin has such an interesting narrative because again, you get the character that starts off evil, gets good,
Mm-hmm.
is way better than most of the Power Rangers by himself.
Gets good.
But still finds a reason to become part of the team.
Mm-hmm.
And like honestly, they do it in a really heartfelt manner. Like it was just for a Sentai show, you don't expect actual quality writing of all of those different like situations, and Mighty Morphin absolutely delivered on that. Uh, really just like excellent character. Jason David Frank brought so much charisma to that role. It's why he's many people's favorite Ranger, just in
Mm-hmm.
general. Why he's come back many a time. Um, and yeah, I mean, absolute legend. I remember seeing so many threads about like, people are like just like I got into martial arts because of him, or like
Yeah.
my favorite color was green because of him, and it's just like, yeah, I mean, it's you don't expect it, but like these are the impacts that you know like media, especially beloved media, can have when you're that age. It's like lifelong things that you love because you discovered it early, and you know bringing so many people into this kind of modern interesting world of hero culture, superhero culture, or martial arts culture. All time legend for that. Just all time legend, just for being just, again,
Absolute
just
unit. Yeah.
yeah, absolute unit. I don't know what to say. Like just it's very cool. Very sad. Obviously, you know what I mean. Like I think then again, this country, not enough people get the help they need when they need it, and
Mm-hmm.
bad things happen. I don't know what his situation is, but
Right.
absolutely sad to lose a legend like him like this. I have so many friends that have like even got pictures with him or met him at some point and said he was an awesome dude. So just tragic, just tragic.
Did you ever like growing up? Did you ever watch Power Rangers on TV? Did you watch Mighty Morphin, or did you watch it later on in life? Or
Oh no, I absolutely watched it when it was coming out. I still have like trading cards from back in the day. But yeah, no, I watched it on TV back in the '90s, back in the
back in the
OG days,
day,
back when it was airing.
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Dude, that first that scene from the first movie when he jumps out of the fucking plane in the skyboard, fucking legendary, bro. What a
Legendary.
crazy way to open a movie.
He's
Like
always
that's
got
like
to be
fast.
different, you know.
It's like Fast and the Furious shit before Fast and the Furious shit. Insane.
Family,
Yep.
really, what it's all about.
I mean, the Power Rangers were
Family.
family, so yeah,
They were.
cool.
Uh,
Family.
Yo, Quint. Uh,
Yo.
what do you have any memories you want to share of JDF here?
Um I don't know, like he was basically like a huge part of my childhood growing up.
Yeah.
And so it felt really weird reading that headline cuz he was one of the few like ranger actors that didn't immediately distance himself from like the fan base. He would always be at like every signing, he would be at like every convention. He was
Yeah.
just like a huge like integral part of the entire fandom, and that was always really amazing to see. So it's awful. Like I was legitimately sad when I heard, which
Yeah.
usually like these celebrity deaths and stuff like that just it's just like, oh yeah, I mean that sucks. But when somebody is actually so involved with the fan base,
Mm-hmm.
it just hits different.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
absolutely, absolutely.
It was like losing someone you've known forever.
Yep.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I've heard people like say the same thing like about like Robin Williams when he died.
Yeah, that was another one that actually phased me. I was like, what? Fuck.
Yeah. Um and so like when you mentioned it, like the whole not shying away from the fan base, it's like it's interesting because, you know, I think a lot of the people that were originally part of that show kind of got burned pretty hard by the people that worked. They got screwed over by the people that, you know, were a part of Power Rangers. And it was only the people that kind of embraced it and sort of, you know, were like, yeah, this, you know, may not be the best situation, but, you know, I'm going to make the best of it, that, you know, moved on and had like a decent career afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Johnny Young Bosch being another one of them, who, you know, immensely successful voice actor. And um yeah, I mean, it's definitely it it's definitely interesting. I don't think that there would be a fan base if it wasn't for him, you know, embracing, like I don't think it'd be much smaller, you know, in the States anyway. If, you know, he didn't embrace like, oh, this is my thing, this is my moment to kind of shine and you know, carry the torch, which, you know, he did for a long time. Sure.
He was supposed to be only a temporary character, but fans loved him so much that they actually like brought
Brought
him
him
on
back.
as a full-time character and then kept bringing him back.
Yep. Yeah, watched I've, as a side note here, I've been actually watching through Mighty Morphin again, the after, you know, because I was like, you know what, let me watch this again, see what it was about, and try to remember. And then I also watched some interviews with him, and he said, you know, when he was let go with the Green Ranger, when they ran out of footage, essentially, um, they, you know, he said he was going to be gone, you know, from the show, and I guess like kids were depressed and they weren't eating and stuff, and like he was immensely popular. He had like the Optimus Prime effect from the Transformers movie. Kid won't leave his room for a week, and so they brought him back as the White Ranger, and you know, was probably even more popular at that point.
He was supposed to be gone even before that, though.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Just his popularity kept him around way longer than he was supposed to be around for.
It's
because like, as soon as Zyuranger footage ran out, because the Dragon Ranger in Zyuranger, he dies.
Yeah, well,
that's
I
why
mean,
there was no more footage. He straight up dies. He is murked.
I actually kind of want to watch Zyuranger at some point because I've never seen it, but
it's pretty good.
Also, I love there's a part where like the Green Ranger in Mighty Morphin straight up does like a Hadoken, and like he never does it again in the entire show.
Oh yeah, like the energy ball blast.
Yeah, he like shoots an energy ball blast like out of his hands, like straight up Hadoken style, and he never does it again. And it's just kind of like
only while evil,
I guess. Yeah. Even though I don't think he's evil in the show, he's just like morally differed for some reason.
In Zyuranger?
Actually, yeah, isn't he like trying to train the actual Rangers or something like that, as like an elder?
He's evil.
Straight up
He's
evil.
evil.
Is he
Yeah,
evil
he's
throughout the
evil.
entire show, or?
No. He has like his redemption right before he dies, and
Yeah,
then he passes on his shield.
to the Red Ranger,
Yeah.
which I think is pretty dope. But yeah, man. I think
Which
uh,
also brought us some of the funny stuff where like they had to use the super fake cheap looking shield on the Red Ranger outfit sometimes
yeah,
because of that incident. So like sometimes you'll see like the Red Ranger with the really nice like proper Green Ranger thing, and then other
yes,
times it'll be like the
it's
super cheap
rubber.
crappy
Yeah.
one.
Um, I also love how like in the show, there's like there's there's this weird plot hole where uh essentially they're like only because Tommy becomes evil because Rita puts a spell on him and then also
Yeah.
gives him an evil sword, which is like making him evil also.
That's another carryover from Zoo Ranger. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't. They just didn't know. He always has that sword, like in the Zoo Ranger footage. So
Hmm.
I guess they just didn't have any idea what to do with it.
And then it's like, oh, the sword must be what's keeping him evil, and then it's like only Zordon knows what to do to like break the spell. And then later on, like it's like, okay, so you're waiting for Zordon to get back to be able to like break the
Yeah.
spell of Tommy, right? And then Zordon doesn't come back. Um and then it just takes the Red Ranger to show up and then use his blaster to shoot the sword and dagger and then just
Yep.
destroys the evil sword, and then he's like Tommy again. It really doesn't. It's sort of really ambiguous to how the spell gets broken.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but it's a kid's
They were
show,
having a
so.
rough time writing around that Zoo Ranger stuff.
Yeah, and it's actually I literally just hit the point where they ran out of footage where the way Tommy loses his power. It's kind of funny because when you watch the shows back to back, you're like, oh, they don't have any Green Ranger footage for this episode. Because it's like, I gotta help the kids learn martial arts today. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay. And it's like immediately after the Green Ranger shows up, does he start to be like, he starts taking a back seat every episode. He's like, oh, I gotta go help. I gotta go do the thing.
Yeah.
I can't, you guys carry on without me. Um,
And sometimes they can like recycle some of the older like Green Ranger footage from Zoo Ranger and like, oh yeah, he's fighting now.
yeah,
Whoa.
yeah. And so like his stuff too is like him training in a park, and then putties will show up, and his is always like new footage that they made for him.
Yeah.
It's never like
So it
the
has
tip.
the stupid sheep
Yeah.
shield.
Also, what was weird
That's
is
my
how
favorite part.
it.
The difference of quality between the shields.
Yep. The weird part too about that is you speak about the quality is in later seasons when they bring back the Green Ranger. He has a different helmet. They just decided to add like design elements to it that aren't on the
Yeah.
original, which is strange. Like they add like a gold like horn or something like that, which was never in the original when you look at it. Um, but yeah, man. Did you? I mean, I know for me, it was a huge part of my childhood as well. Like growing up, I think it was about like 5 or 6. I remember watching the show and going outside with my sister or something and like doing karate outside.
Oh yeah, of course.
And
It's a given.
um, the I remember
Having mock battles.
I don't know if I think I was like at the age where it was just hitting syndication between season 1 and 2, and so I was watching it like day to day, like after school. I don't know if like the new episode was always on Saturdays like back then, but yeah, it was a huge
Well, it
part
hit
of my.
the point where it was like cycling, right? Like it hit its syndication plus. Like it would do its run of all
Mhm.
the available episodes, and then oh, this season hasn't come out yet.
Dude,
Back to the day of the dumpster.
season 1 is 60 episodes.
Yeah, it's very long.
60 episodes for season 1, and then season 2 I
Yep.
think is like not much more, but they really do exhaust that footage.
Yeah.
And yeah, I
Well,
mean,
then once you get the White Ranger, the
this
Rangers are always separated from there on.
they're
pretty
they're even
much.
kind of like separated after the whole Evil Green Ranger part too.
Yeah.
Um,
But it becomes like really apparent with the White Ranger because they use Die Ranger footage to have the White Ranger be a thing,
yeah,
exist,
yeah.
and there's no footage really of Zyuranger interacting with White Ranger. They had to order more footage from Japan.
Yeah, there's actually like a few recap episodes where I'm like, oh, they must not have new footage yet. So they gotta, there's like an episode where they go to an island of illusion and like they start to disappear. But yeah. So yeah, I think for me it was like a huge part of my childhood and gave me a huge interest in
Very
martial
cool.
arts and stuff. Also, I just want to say that the original show has really good choreography for a a kids TV show with martial arts, like uh like to an impressive degree, to where it's like, oh, no wonder why I would watch like martial arts or action shows afterwards, and it just wasn't,
Yeah.
it's kind of impressive what they were able to do with the choreography in that show.
Well, it
Uh,
helped that freaking JDF was literally like a black belt. So
yeah, I mean, I know like Austin St. John is too. I mean, I don't know if he was to the
yeah,
caliber that JDF was, but
I don't think he was.
but he was pretty comparable. He was close.
Yeah,
At
it
least.
definitely helped like I guess realism of the show to have both of them actually trained in martial arts so they could like I imagine they had like some kind of input. Like the director would probably be like, "Hey, so like I want you to do like a cool kick."
Well, I think like after a certain point, JDF actually became a part of the stunt team of the show. So I think that's
Oh,
why he like did a lot like choreography in there as well. Um,
I can see it.
but yeah, man, I really, he'll be sorely missed, and
He
following his
will.
career throughout the years, it was man, it's kind of heartbreaking to see a guy who's that charismatic, uh,
Apparently, his last appearance was in Power Rangers Super Ninja Steel or something like that.
mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. He
Well,
appeared with a thing called a Master Morpher.
oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. I think I sent that to you, but or I sent you
Yeah.
a clip that you probably already seen.